What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today I'm just doing a quick vlog. Just got off of work and I am shooting on my new kit lens. This is the 16 to 50 millimeter f3.5 to 5.6. Now, I have been getting a lot of things in the comment section that I've been posting on Facebook because I am using this on my Sony FX30. Now, obviously the FX30 is a cinema level quality camera, but that doesn't mean that you should have to always buy expensive lenses. Now, for me, I already have some really good lenses. I have my Sigma 16mm, which is what I usually would shoot on this, as well as a Sony 11mm f1.8 and my newest cinema lens, the SLR Magic. Now, I was looking for a lens that wasn't overly expensive, that was small, compact, and that I would just use for like talking head videos. And obviously I know there's a lot of brands out there. You got the Sigma 18 to 50, and then you got the Tamron 20 to 70, but those are still relatively big lenses and price-wise a little bit more than what I wanted to spend. And I don't normally do a lot of nighttime vlogs with this lens, so when it comes to nighttime vlogs with this lens, it's not the best at that, and I am well aware of that. But in terms of just, is it a good kit lens? I would say yes. I've had this lens before, a long time ago when I had, I believe, my A6400, and I got rid of it because I went and got the Sigma 16, and I've been wanting a zoom lens ever since then because sometimes I may not want to carry a large lens, but I don't want to spend a lot of money on a variable zoom lens that I won't be using most of the zooms for other than just talking head videos, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money on that. And again, most of those lenses don't have OSS, which this lens does have. And for those of you that don't know what that means optical steady shot. So the camera, the FX30 itself, has a 5-axis gimbal, so it has stabilization in the camera itself, and the lens does also. So that paired with each other makes this a really good deal for me in terms of vlogging. Now, you're gonna get people out there, and I understand people are gonna be gear snobs. People are gonna be like, oh, you need to buy this lens or that camera because this is what that lens is for that camera. Now, when it comes to buying camera gear for whether you're using YouTube or not, it's really up to you to decide in terms of what works best for you. Don't let someone else tell you, what lens is gonna be best, because they don't know the lens, they don't know what you're shooting, what type of stuff you're shooting or anything of that nature. They're just going by based on because, well, you have it, they have it, you should buy it. And like I said, I've been getting a lot of comments saying that I shouldn't be buying this lens or I shouldn't have bought this lens because it's a crappy lens, it can't do this and it can't do that. And again, I'm shooting right now in S-Log 3 at 4K at 60 frames, and it looks perfectly fine. Now, normally, sometimes I will shoot in 4K at 120, or not 120, but 4K at 24 frames. But again, I'm usually doing talking head videos when I'm at home. Rarely do I ever go out and just do any type of vlog, especially when I'm living in Alaska and it gets cold pretty fast. And with living in Alaska, daylight is something that we tend to lose a lot more during the October, November months, because daylight savings for us ends on, I believe, the 4th or the 5th. Could be wrong, but so when I leave from work at, like, say 4 o'clock at night or in the afternoon, it's dark. So for me to do any type of vlogging with the lens like this isn't gonna work. But again, like I said, I do most of my vlogs mostly at my house, in my room, because that's kind of how I do my vlogs. That's kind of how I do my channel. If I'm going to do anything else with this, then it just depends on what I want to do. Otherwise, this lens is a really good lens. Now, I actually got this used. If you didn't watch my unboxing video, I'll drop a link down below for that. But I actually got this lens used for about $190, which is normally a $300 lens. So that was actually a really good bargain for this lens. Again, other than that, I don't really see too many flaws with this in terms of using it for as a simple vlogging lens for doing vlogs. Now, again, I have this also paired with my Sony wireless remote, so if I ever want to do any close-ups with the lens, I can simply just wide. If I want to tighten in, I can zoom in, and then that's it. Otherwise, this lens is perfect for what I needed to do. And I think that there's nothing wrong with this lens. This one works perfectly fine. Now, if you're looking at buying, like, say, the Sony ZV-E10, it already comes with this lens. If you're looking at buying, say, the Sony a6400, it already comes with this lens if you're buying both of those cameras with the kit lens, which will be the 16-50. It is a perfectly good lens. Now, obviously, when it comes to the A6400, which I had, that is not a IBIS camera, which means no in-body image stabilization. So the lens itself is stabilized, but the camera body is not. So you would just have to simply buy like a gimbal or some sort of a handheld tripod like what I have here, and then just kind of walk around and make sure that your videos are steady. Otherwise, you can download, I believe, Sony's Catalyst program, which allows you to kind of smooth out a lot of the bumpiness in your videos. Otherwise, this lens is totally fine. Now, again, like I said, people are always going to make comments, they're going to snicker, they're going to say things like, you don't need this lens because this lens is garbage and all that. It's up to you to decide to listen to them or not. Otherwise, just do your due diligence, do a little bit of research on it, and if it's the only lens that you can afford for your camera, then that's all you can afford. Then you should still buy. You shouldn't be, as I call it, tech regret buying when it comes to buying tech for your camera gear, because everyone's going to be different in their situations for what they need to use it for. Like I said, I shoot most of my videos at home in my room. Otherwise, if I want to do a quick lens review or something and there's daylight out, then I will do it out in the daylight. Otherwise, I know that this lens doesn't really do well in dark situations, even with a little bit of light, because I tried doing a vlog with it last night around 7:30 and it was just unusable. I just really couldn't do anything with it. Otherwise, in this type of an environment, it works perfectly fine. Clear, I have my ISO at, I believe, 64 or 640. Mic now is at f3.5 and works perfectly fine. Don't have an issue with it. Now, obviously, I'm going to be post-editing this later on when I get home. But in terms of a lens review for this lens, is this lens a lens that you shouldn't pass up? No, this lens is something you should totally look at. It's a perfectly good lens. Now, it depends on if you want to buy it new or if you want to buy it used. I bought this used at B&H, and it depends on the degree of use for the lens, but I got this at a used level 10, so it worked perfectly fine. So it doesn't even look like the lens was, scratched or anything like that. It just looked brand new. So I want to thank everybody for watching. If you're new to my channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button, hitting that bell notification. That way you don't miss content when I drop it. And again, I have a link down below for this lens if you want to take a look at it, as well as unboxing. And again, when it comes to gear, buy what works best for you. Don't let anyone else tell you what works best for you. You're the one that's ultimately going to be using the lens and doing what you're doing with your camera. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe.